And hello, friends. Happy Monday night. I'm excited to be here with you. Tonight, we are having Monday night motivation, but I think it's going to be Monday night motivation plus a little business talk. We're going to mix it up a little. So, as I'm dabbling through this journey that we've all been on, I know that many people are seeking to put a period or an exclamation point on last season. And I understand that that is something that we have to do. We have to figure out what's going on as far as the recital goes. If we're having a recital, how we're going to have a recital, and how we're going to end the 2019-2020 season. With that said, I'm wondering if this is not a time where we can look forward. Here's where I'd like to start with that. All of the students that we registered and all of the families involved in our school didn't necessarily get what it was that was the dance season was supposed to be all about. And neither did we. Nobody could have anticipated what this dance season turned out to be. But those people going to virtual may be more difficult because they're used to our live programs. They're used to dancing and performing. I kind of look at where we are now as an opportunity to offer, I'll call it a product, but it's dance classes to a whole new crowd that knows that they're coming into our virtual world. And if you're a studio owner in a certain part of the country and you anticipate that you're going to open your school sooner rather than later, I think that there will be a virtual component to what we do for a very long time. For instance, let's say that we're allowed, and I don't know any inside information, so what I'm about to say isn't necessarily the way it is, but say we're allowed 10 kids in the studio. We may have a class of 20 where 10 of them are taking class live and in the studio, and 10 of them are taking that class at home. And then on the following week, that rotates. And in my mind, no matter where we stand as a studio owner in what area of the country, the virtual thing is with us for a while. So I look and I say, what have we learned through this virtual process that we can now use to continue running our businesses, which may be a different look than it was 7 or 8 weeks ago? Here's a couple things that I want to say about this time that we're in, because I've made some notes here. This could be the time that we make the changes that we need to make or that we have wanted to make within our business or our own lives for a long time. Maybe you've been one of those people who've been running your business and you thought, bigger is better, or I'll be happy when I have 4 classrooms, or I'll be happy when I have 600 students. Maybe it's time to reevaluate and decide that maybe we'd be happy with 200 kids, some free time, the opportunity to maybe have meals with the family like you may have experienced in the last few weeks. the opportunity to live a life that isn't always about pursuing growth, pursuing more. Maybe this is a time that we evaluate those changes that we'd like to make in our lives, because there is no better excuse than this time that we're living in right now. And listen, I could say it this way: dance to your own beat. So, because we really have an empty canvas as far as what we can do with our studios and our businesses, let's look to ourselves. Let's look inside and see what makes us happy. Let's determine that maybe the teaching dance to the rec and preschool kids is really more exciting than you thought before. Maybe having the best dancers in the area is less important to you than it was before. Maybe even our own parents will start evaluating what's important to them. And maybe it'll be less performing and maybe more education. This is our time to make the changes that we can see for ourselves and our future. And they may not be the same changes as the studio up the street. You see, the dance studio owner has their own personality, their own individuality. And we can do with that what we choose. We don't have to compare ourselves to others. We don't have to pursue the same dreams that others are pursuing. We need to see what feels good in our heart. So, there is no profession, especially over the last 7 or 8 weeks, where you can say that people work harder and have more passion than we have shown that we have and that our community has, and the strength that we have when we're united. How cool is that? To me, that's what it's all about. So, I think it's about both virtual and live at the same time. I think it's about going for our registration almost the same way that we always have, on the same schedule. And I know for some of you listening, maybe a recital is now scheduled during a different time of the year, so you have to make some adjustments. But let's stick to the overall concept of registration. Now you're selling a product that's both virtual and in-house. And those that are signing up for that product will understand it right from the beginning. To be prepared for that means that, let's say, God forbid, there were a second bout or there were some other issues that were to come up. We'd be prepared, and our students would be prepared, and our clients would be prepared for this virtual change, way more than the clientele that we had this year. So I'd almost be opening my school saying, we're moving forward no matter what. Now, that could be virtual classes, or that could be in-house classes. That could be a mix of classes. Could be levels, meaning maybe the older kids are coming in first and then we eventually get to the younger kids. My belief is that the younger kids will be a little harder to bring in, because it's going to be a little harder to keep them separated from each other, to keep them from wanting to run up to each other or run up to their teachers. So I think that is going to be a challenge that we're going to face down the road. So in thinking about what I'm going to do to generate income and how I'm going to move forward with the tools that I've learned, I've made some notes here. First, I want to say this. The teachers that I talk to, they're puppeteers, they're storytellers, they're counselors, they're teaching the little brother while they're teaching the sister. They're entertaining. Some can pull off an hour of class with a big smile on their face, shut that class off, and they're drained. But the bottom line is they're able to go on and put on that show that's what we're all about. My father would have said, it's all show business. And I consider this time to be that. And what do I mean? We've been stretched beyond our boundaries. I probably have viewers tonight who never anticipated 6 months ago that they would be reading bedtime stories. I probably have a lot of viewers who were afraid to go live, who now go live on a daily basis and have lost the fear of that. Look at how far we have come. So what can we do with all of these skills? I'm thinking to myself, over the summer, I can run a series of 4-week programs. And I use the word 4 weeks, but know this. You could decide you want to do 6 weeks. You could decide you want to do 1 week. You make that decision. But for my 4-week concept, hang on, I need to fix something here. Hey, if you want to send in some comments and tell us where you're from, I can post those comments on the screen. How cool is that? We're moving on up around here. So here's some 4-week programs that I could do. Family hip hop. I could do this on a Friday night, charge a flat fee for the whole family. They sign up for the 4 classes ahead of time. And know that that doesn't just have to be students from my own school. My family hip hop night could be cousins and aunts and uncles from families across the country. How cool would that be that our studio is bringing all those people together and bringing those families together? And we could do that by running a 4-week class, 6-week class called Family Hip Hop, and we could generate income with that class. I have Hip Hop Divas, a 4-week hip hop class. That could be Hip Hop Divas, little divas, 7, 8, 9, 10. It could be adult divas, moms. It could be parents. I also have this other idea based on all the crafts and all of the puppeteering that we're learning how to do, as well as our dance and our movement. Something like creative kinders. And now that could be this versatile program where we do movement, we do some singing, we do some acting, storytelling, and it's all about creative young minds. That's a program that could go on for more than 4 weeks, could go on in your fall programs. Now I want to talk about some of the things that I can do with my teen or intensive or competitive kids, because this is what I am feeling, or the vibe I'm getting from teachers, is that these kids are used to taking class several days a week, working on their choreography, performing on weekends. And keeping them occupied in a time like this and satisfied and in shape is difficult, because the situation isn't ideal to accomplish those things. But what if we took our intensive kids in some new directions, such as, hang on, excuse me, a choreography workshop. Let's say it ran 4 to 6 weeks, or it could run over a series of days. You have to be open-minded. And in that choreography workshop, each dancer creates 4 counts of 8, depending on the number of dancers who participate. They build a piece of choreography. They perform that piece of choreography. They get critiqued on it. Even in that process, they could be assigned to pick a choreographer that they feel the vibe with, that they feel like that's who they might like to emulate. And we give them this whole new focus on how to choreograph, what choreography means, feelings, emotions in choreography. I feel like a lot of our kids would eat it up. And listen, if you think about it, it's not only our best kids who could be open to programs like this. It is some of the kids that maybe didn't make it into our intensive program or competitive program, but have this desire. And why not involve them and give them this opportunity when we've never been able to do that before? Also, like, I was thinking about apprentice or assistant teacher training could go on at this time. And you could actually have the kids teach kids virtually as part of the training process in your apprentice or teacher training program. They can learn how to assist in the classroom, what their responsibilities would be in the classroom. You could brainstorm with them about different circumstances that could happen in the classroom and what their reactions should be. We could come out of it, if we do this right, with some really cool and some smarter assistant or apprentice teachers. I love the idea of acting workshops, and I might call it acting workshops that are combined with emotions and expressing emotions. I feel like our teenage kids need that at this time. Improv, but improv through acting as well as movement. Give them a choreographer to research and let them make a presentation on the choreographer. They can go to YouTube and grab a video. They can write a bio on that choreographer. I feel like there are opportunities for them to grow and learn, and that they'll think it's kind of cool too, as well. I need to get my cards in order here, my notes. So I look at it as I'm going to move forward with whatever feels right to me. I may not have the same structured school that I had before. I may decide I'm going to do my recitals a different way down the road. Know that this is a time when you can explore what it is that you want to do with your school and what you want your school to stand for and what you want it to be. Look forward with anticipation that we got off the speeding train and we have time to adjust. We have time to rebuild that studio into what our dream was in the first place. I can't tell you how many studio owners that I've spoken to over the last few years who come and gain all of this new knowledge or ideas or concepts, and they wish that they could go home and initiate them, but to initiate them might knock some people out of kilter because this isn't the way that they've always done it. Now is your chance. Now is your chance. Take this time to build the business and the life that you want for yourself down the road. and be open to change, be open to exploration, be open to sharing your passion for dance in a bunch of different ways. Be open to the knowledge we haven't gained yet, or the possibilities that are out there that we haven't seen. It's only going to get bigger and better, and we're going to become a lot smarter at what we do. Stand tall, dance people. Stand tall, believe in what you do. Know that it is that passion on the inside that inspired you in the first place. And a lot of us gained that passion long before we were great dancers. If our future is only about passing on that passion and isn't necessarily about trying to be bigger or better, but just knowing and feeling the satisfaction that lives go on with that passion instilled inside of their soul, then we have truly accomplished something special. I feel like we're in new times, new places. It can be really exciting. And I know the last couple of weeks have been tough. But look forward and see the possibilities. Look around you right now and see the positives, because there are positives. There are people doing really awesome things. There are leaders who are leading with gusto and people we can be proud of. Let's appreciate where we are. Know that it isn't going to be easy to get out of this, but opportunity is abundant. I promise you that. To my dance teacher friends out there, know we're in this together. I love you all. Have a good night and take care. We'll see you tomorrow night.